It's 3 hours of Courage the Cowardly Dog on Cartoonolio. Saturday at 3 on Cartoon Network.
Growing up, the best feeling for sure as a kid was waking up early in the morning, going to the kitchen and getting some cereal like Cookie Crisp or Cocoa Puffs, and going into the living room and watching some TV. We all watched different things as kids. My personal channel preference was Nickelodeon. Watching the channel in the 2000s was an unforgettable experience. Nickelodeon really hit their peak at the time with classic cartoons like SpongeBob SquarePants and Avatar: The Last Airbender, and fun entertaining live action shows like Drake and Josh and iCarly. It was truly a time to be alive. When the 2010s decade arrived, Nick continued to bring us timeless content with shows like Victorious and Big Time Rush. However, things started to change drastically for the network. Some critics also said it was at this point that Nickelodeon started to go downhill a bit with their quality of their shows starting to deteriorate. One of the shows during this time that critics and other viewers point to as an example of this is 2011's Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures. Now personally, I kind of liked the show when it came out. While it was definitely bizarre and weird at times, it offered us some great humor and generally effective slapstick action. Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures starred Taylor Gray and Dylan Lane as Bucket and Skinner respectively, the show's two main leads. The show basically revolves around them as two best friends living in a beach town where they love to surf, eat tacos, and have wild adventures together. The show also included Ashley Argota, who played Kelly, Bucket's love interest. Tiffany Espenson as Kelly's younger sister, Piper, who hated Bucket but liked Skinner. Glenn McEwen also played Aloe, the main antagonist of the show, who bullies the titular duo. In addition, George Back, although he didn't appear in every episode, played the character Three Pieces, Bucket's wacky uncle, as more of a recurring role. The series, again premiering in 2011, would only last a year before being cancelled by the network after some small controversies that contributed to the show's infamy. Starting in the early 2010s, Nickelodeon seemed to attempt to capitalize on the massive success of their past and current live-action shows. More specifically, the shows run by Dan Schneider and Scott Fellows, such as iCarly, Drake and Josh, Ned's Declassified, and Big Time Rush. This resulted in a lot of experimentation with other creators and writers to continue to build up the company's image. In very late 2010, it was announced by the network that they have picked up a new series called Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures to be added to their 2011 schedule. The show was executive produced by Thomas W. Lynch, who founded his own company titled Thomas Lynch Company. The company greenlit and produced many successful tween television shows, such as The Secret World of Alex Mack, The Journey of Alan Strange, and Nickelodeon's very own Caitlin's Way and the Troop, the latter of which aired around the same time as Bucket and Skinner. The aforementioned sitcom was created by Boyce Belargi and Jamie McLaughlin, who both wrote and worked on Kid Notorious and Quintuplets. All of these people had respectful, proven track records of working on moderately to highly successful sitcoms and television shows. Bucket and Skinner was therefore one of 5 new shows to be added to the 2011 Nickelodeon premiere lineup. The early article stated that the details about the cast and the synopsis of the show, which was hoped to aid in making the network be more diverse and fresh with what the shows had to offer.
Summer.
You ready to make history?
Loving it! In the most epic new series on television.
Put our two brains together, you have one gigantic brain!
In May 2011, the very first trailer for Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures premiered on television, showcasing footage and info of the new series. Early thoughts and reviews on this show from the trailer were mostly scornful. Critics and fans of the network criticized the laugh track and unfunny jokes and acting shown in the trailer. However, Nickelodeon remained optimistic about the show and continued to reveal more trailers and special behind-the-scenes clips of the actors talking about their characters and working with their fellow castmates and directors and writers, and how much they enjoy their time on set. Critics remained skeptical of the series, and finally, on Friday, July 1st, 2011, Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures made its official debut on the network in a double-episode premiere. Nick then premiered the 3rd and 4th episodes of the show on Saturday and Sunday night that weekend respectively. The show had moderate success. Each episode brought in close to 2 million viewers, and critics and fans still panned the show for its acting and weird humor. Nick continued to air each episode of the show in an inconsistent schedule, airing some episodes on 2 Fridays in a row, and then airing another one on Saturday. The schedule got more stable later on, but it soon became clear Nickelodeon got too confident about the series with the sporadic airing order. With declining reviews and viewers, it was obvious as the show progressed that it wouldn't have a long future with the network. However, what happened next with the show was nothing short of baffling and would contribute to damaging the network's reputation. After the new episode of Bucky and Skinner aired, Epic Dates, the show's stars Taylor Gray and Dylan Lane teased a new episode that would air next week called Epic Crush and explained the plot of the future episode. Nickelodeon began to air these little TV spots of Gray and Lane reviewing the next episode that would air, so this was nothing new. Nevertheless, Epic Crush would not air this next week, which was completely odd for the network to lie about something like that. In addition, the show would randomly take a 5-month hiatus from premiering new episodes of Bucky and Skinner. Nickelodeon shows taking hiatuses wasn't anything out of the ordinary, since it happened to other live-action shows on the network for production and filming reasons. The weird problem was that hardly any promos were made about when the series will return. It wasn't until next year of March 2012 when the show would finally come back to Nickelodeon with the airing of not Epic Crush, but another episode called Epic Cuffs. To add to this confusing mess, Nickelodeon hardly ever promoted the show anymore, as if only now they realized how embarrassed they were of the show and wanted to distance itself from it before even making the move of canceling it. It got to the unfathomable point where the show's main 3 stars, Gray, Lane, and Ashley Argota, made previews of their own posted on YouTube, promoting the new episodes to try and attempt to bring some knowledge and viewership to their new episodes.
Fucking Skinner's on Saturday at 9:30. This episode's called Epic Crash.
Yes.
9:30?
Yeah.
And Halston Sage from Red Rock is on this episode.
Yeah.
And I play Monkey.
It failed to make an impact on the viewer count, and on July 5th, 2012, less than 4 months after returning to the network after its mysterious hiatus and disappearance, Ashley Argota stated that the show had been canceled by the network, but that more episodes were still to air. This continues to confirm that Nickelodeon just wanted to be done with this series and didn't even factor in how this would affect the cast and the production team. To add insult to injury for the show and everyone involved, it was announced later that year in 2012 that the show would air its final few episodes that were filmed, but to Nickelodeon's sister network, Teen Nick. The show aired its last breaths on the network to very little viewership from December 22, 2012 to May 1, 2013, when Teen Nick aired its final 2 episodes on the latter date. Very poetic given how Nickelodeon premiered the show with 2 episodes. Teen Nick hardly ran reruns of the sitcom, and the show died soon after that with hardly a trace of it left or being talked about. All the episodes are available now on Amazon, however. All the cast and staff of the show went on to do other things and pursue their own passions. Nickelodeon nowadays is mostly dead, with no exciting or unique live action or even animated shows except for of course SpongeBob, which shows no signs of stopping even while being driven to the wall non-stop. As more controversy about its creators and the company comes out and brings Nickelodeon down more and more to shame and a shell of its former renowned self, this whole situation is just another reminder of how shady these corporations we grew up loving and being devoted to are when it comes to self-image and money. I wish the best for all the people who worked on Bucky and Skinner and hope they find happiness and success in all of their careers and lives.